hello everybody. Welcome back to Robert's Train Set. So this is the announcement of the winner of the locomotive to do the inaugural run. And I'm going to keep you in suspense for a little while, because I will just show you what happened after the cameras were turned off on the Move series. Behind me, and I think it's legitimate, is testing. So I've got the Hatton 66 running in, because obviously I hadn't had a chance to do it. I've got the little Ginty with the Daypole wagons and a brake van running around just checking that everything's working. And I've also got the 08 shunter pulling the full rake of HST carriages. I have tested the winner of the competition and it went very well, to my surprise. So all was looking good. So I think a thumbs up. So I'd like to thank everybody that did participate. That's the word, isn't it? Participate. And I'm sorry if you've missed out. So I think the first thing to show you are the things that I've done since the camera's turned off. So we'll go and have a look at that first. Okay, everybody? Cheers. So everybody, let's go on this tour of what I did after the cameras turned off. Well, one of the things I did was to put this barrier around on the fiddle yard, all the way around here, look, to stop errant locomotives taking a trip downstairs. There's probably fairly catastrophic consequences. So that's okay, and as you can see, I've painted it. I've also painted the back of this embankment. I've painted these posts a bit further up, as you can see, which should keep out of shot. And I think probably most important for quite a few of my subscribers is, rather than covering over the hole, I've put the barrier across. And basically you just push against the layout, lift it up, drop it down and pull it out from the two bolts that come through the framework. And just in case they want to split, I put one of these ties round, and where that is the top, so that's have that at the top. So that's what I've done. It's 32mm square softwood, which is fairly solid. I mean, it will obviously bend if I put it back in. So to put it back in, you just push it up there, slide it in, pull it towards the layout, and then just drop it in. And yes, it will flex, absolutely, but it's a barrier, isn't it? And it would stop me going if I just carried on walking. And if my foot was to accidentally go down, I've got something to grab hold of. And I have tried with one hand on here and one hand on my bench, and I did take my whole weight on those two. Obviously the bench probably took the most, but in the future I may fit a metal bar to the underside of this to make it even more stiff, but I didn't want anything too big and clumsy, so I think this should work, hopefully. Hope it makes you happy. So some of the equipment I've got up here, I've obviously got my tripods, which you saw me using to get the intro. It's fairly warm in here today, so I've got my fan going and I've got the heater behind, as you can see. And what I really like about being up here is I can just leave all my tripods and camera equipment and lights all here. I don't have to keep putting them away and putting them in the cupboard every time. So let's carry on round. So I've painted the back of this, and this is the colour that I bought to do the sleepers on the track that I never used, and as you see I've painted some more of that. Looking this way I thought seeing this beam in that colour was not very nice, so I painted that, and I've painted the one down there going into the wall. So I would actually paint here, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have enough paint to do this, so I might have to do it in a different colour if I want to ever do it. So we'll see. It's getting very low in that big pot down there. So also I've now painted the back of the hardboard, make it look a bit nicer when I'm filming this side. So I have done it all the way along. I've tried to paint the cables out as much as I can, right the way up as far as I could. On the back I didn't bother too much because you won't see that very often. And you might think what that big wide cable is going down there, that thick cable. But what I thought was, rather than have my LED lights on the stand that I couldn't get up high enough, I've fixed them to the posts at the top. So it's almost like a football match now. I've got my floodlights. So they seem to be quite effective. So it's going to be good. My only concern is that being like that, they will burn out because of the heat. I don't know, we'll have to see, but it's worth the risk because they would have been too low down using it normal way. And you might notice I haven't even got my 6 LED lights lit at the moment, and it's still perfectly adequate for filming, as you can see. So continue all the way around here. So this tape here seems to be working. I think it's because there's a kink in the board that makes that want to split, as you can see. So I need to do something about that. But never mind. And I have painted a bit around the back there. We won't go there. And I've also painted the back of this framework along here, as you can see. It's all blending. Also, I have tidied up my little cupboard affair here and made it a bit more presentable. And I'm hoping that this box, this cardboard box here, I can convert it into something to bring up my locomotive, some rolling stock. I've got some foam that I can line it with. I shall cover it in the tape that you use for parcels to make it stronger, and I would like a strap around that go around my neck so I can have it hanging on me rather than me actually holding it, to bring them up nice and safe and level, hopefully. So there we go. So I'll have a go with that. You can see I am using my sockets now, and I've still got a few over. And I've got them over on the workbench as well if I need them, so I'm using one for the fan. So I thought, as a final thing here, I'm going to show the trains going round. Now it's not a running session, it's a test to see how they're doing, and also how well they film. So the 08 shunter is doing really well with 5 carriages. And just coming down here, thundering down here, if I can catch it, is the Hatton 66. That's running at about 30 miles an hour, I think, according to Railmaster. And it is very, very quiet, even at that speed. So I'm not going to put the sound on because you'll see this running in the running session for the winners. But you can see it running around really nicely. And all the time I've been filming all this, I've not had, touch wood, one problem. I've just touched my head. But I think it's a striking locomotive. I really do like, I think what drew me to it is this colour scheme, really. I think the basic one with the square yellow is thing, but the flow into the green is really, really nice. It'll look cracking with my Freightliner ballast wagons, I think. So I'm now filming from one of my most awkward positions. I'm between the layout and the purling that's on the holds the roof up. It runs round that bit quite nicely. It looks. I think we're going to get some nice views of trains there. And you might notice it's passing its stablemate, the 101 Bachmann DMU, which, if they were both live, would now both be going round. So we'll just wait for the little Ginty to come back down the station, through the station. And we may just catch sight of the 66 shooting up towards the other end. There it goes. So the little Ginty does sterling work for me. I mean, it's my little workhorse along with the Hornby 37. And what I will do is I will show you a little bit of film of the winner of the competition doing its trials, and it was pulling the HST carriages, and I thought it looked quite striking, so I got a little bit of on track shoot footage and a little bit of the GoPro type camera sort of looking down the length of the station, so I'll put that at the end. Okay everybody, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. Welcome back after that little video on what I've managed to do after the cameras went off. I hope you agree with me that I've tried to make Robert's Train Set Mark II look a bit better than it did as Mark I. So, we better get these results and put you out your misery. Let's do it reverse order, shall we, just to keep the suspense. Unfortunately, I haven't got a drum roll to go with it, but never mind. So, in equal fourth place, and excuse me for reading because my memory is like a sieve, we have the A3 Flying Scotsman, the NRM version, Class 43 HST, the 2P Fowler, that's the 440 tender locomotive, the Earl of St Germans, the A1 Tornado, and finally the Class 20. So they all came in fourth with one vote. So third was the Hatton 66, which you've seen going round, which is why I'm trying to run it in. The second place was the A1 Flying Scotsman, i.e. the original Flying Scotsman in LNER livery, which is a recent acquisition, isn't it? And they both got 2 votes each, so really they should be equal, but whatever. And the winner, by a whole one, with 3 votes, is the A4 Mallard. So, the Mallard will lead the procession away in the running session, and I hope to have it breaking a little mini ribbon as it does so. But what I thought, as people have bothered to reply to my request, and I thank them again most sincerely, I think I should run all these locos. So we'll start off with the top three, with obviously Mallard going away first, and then the other two will follow on with little running sessions. Maybe just with them running, not starting off. I'll get the Mallard to start up from the station and do it this way. And then the other fourth place ones, we'll just do some little running of each of those. Because, you know, I think people thought they'd like to see them, so I think we should. So it could be quite a long running session, we'll see how we go. But yeah, okay everybody, so I really do thank you for participating, I really do. And I haven't got the sound on because I thought you might not hear me, especially with the Hattons. So please watch out for the next upload, which hopefully will be this running session that I've just announced. Cheers everybody, cheers. Agree with the results. It's very subjective, isn't it, our favourite locos, and I do think the Mallard is a worthy winner. It's, you know, it does still hold the speed record for steam, doesn't it? So it's a fitting one to have. So thanks everybody, thanks for all my new subscribers that came on, absolutely fabulous. I couldn't believe how many I got. And I hope you stay with me when I just start doing running sessions instead of working rather hard. So cheers everybody, cheers.